I'm just kind of ready for the next chapter and a new challenge in my life, but I think the reason I decided to announce it when I did was just to have that closure.
Caitlin Clark's life took a dramatic turn in a matter of seconds. It happened the moment Michael Jordan and Lexie Hull stepped into the room, bringing with them a wave of surprise and raw emotion. In front of a stunned crowd, the basketball icon and the young WNBA talent unveiled a game-changing announcement, a $52 million Nike deal created exclusively for Clark. Her eyes lit up. The room froze, and the reaction that followed is now etched in sports history. So why did Michael Jordan and Lexie Hull choose this moment? And what does this historic deal mean for Caitlin Clark, Nike, and the entire future of women's sports? To answer that, you have to understand the rise of a phenomenon. Even before the confetti rained down at the 2024 WNBA draft, Caitlin Clark had already rewritten the record books again and again. She wasn't just another standout athlete. She was the athlete, the pulse of women's college basketball. From her very first season with the Iowa Hawkeyes, Clark transformed ordinary matchups into must-see television. Every appearance was electric, deep step-back threes from way beyond the arc, pinpoint passes threading impossible gaps, and a fearless swagger that made veteran analysts pause mid-sentence. By early 2024, her reach had gone global. In the US, her name was already a household staple. Overseas, it was quickly becoming just as familiar. Fans lined up hours before tip-off just to watch her warm up. TV ratings spiked whenever she hit the court, with some college games even surpassing NBA broadcasts in viewership and ticket sales. She didn't just attract a crowd. She built a movement, and her numbers were staggering. In March 2024, inside a roaring Carver Hawkeye Arena, Clark shattered the NCAA's all-time scoring record, passing every player, man or woman, who had come before her. The sports world froze. ESPN rolled out special coverage. International outlets rushed to air instant features. Her image was everywhere on cereal boxes in the Midwest and glowing on massive billboards in Tokyo. At this point, it wasn't just college basketball anymore. Caitlin Clark had become a worldwide sensation. So when April 15, 2024 arrived, the night of the WNBA draft, the only question was how quickly the Indiana Fever would make their move. The answer, almost instantly. Inside a charged arena in Brooklyn, New York, it felt less like a draft pick and more like a coronation. The crowd roared, cameras flashed, and basketball legends nodded in approval. But the real twist came moments later, one no fan or insider saw coming. From the shadows stepped two powerhouses, Michael Jordan, the ultimate basketball kingmaker, and rising WNBA talent, Lexie Hull. Together, they unveiled a jaw-dropping was handing Caitlin Clark a $52 million deal? Not just for sneakers, not just for marketing. This was an empire in the making, built entirely around her game, her style, and her meteoric rise. What had once been quiet speculation about her next move instantly thundered across the sports world. On camera, her reaction told the whole story: pure shock, deep gratitude, and undeniable triumph. But this moment was more than a headline. It was about timing, legacy, and two influential figures choosing not just to endorse an athlete, but to fuel a revolution in women's sports. And now the question isn't what Caitlin Clark will do next, it's how far this movement will go. The bidding war that shook women's sports was already underway before Caitlin Clark even stepped foot in Brooklyn for the 2024 WNBA draft. By then, she was far more than a basketball star. She was a marketing force of nature. Every shot she sank, every post-game word she spoke, every step she took in a pair of sneakers was being tracked by global brands with billion-dollar intentions. Her rise didn't just captivate fans, it set off alarms in corporate boardrooms around the world. The battle to sign Caitlin Clark wasn't quiet. It was intense, cutthroat, and global. By early March 2024, the whispers had started. Giant endorsement deals were in the works, and the competition to secure her signature was heating up fast. Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, and Puma all entered the race. They weren't simply chasing an athlete, they were fighting to secure the most influential woman in basketball. A player who symbolized a new era of visibility, market power, and cultural relevance in women's sports. Under Armour came out swinging. Leaks from its Baltimore headquarters revealed a bold offer, $16 million over 4 years. Plus the promise of a signature shoe, something rarely offered to female athletes at any level. That alone was enough to dominate headlines. Then Adidas stepped forward with a quieter, more calculated proposal, $6 million over 4 years. Scale made the Adidas bid even more intriguing, a prototype sneaker, already crafted with Caitlin Clark's game in mind. Puma toyed with the idea of joining the fight, but as the stakes climbed higher and the offers ballooned, they quietly bowed out. At this point, it wasn't business, it was war. And then Nike moved. 3 days after Clark was drafted first overall by the Indiana Fever in April 2024, the swoosh dropped a bombshell, an 8-year contract with a reported $28 million base. But that was just the foundation. Performance bonuses, brand royalties, and global campaigns would push the total value to an eye-popping $52 million. Nike didn't make this play alone. They brought in two heavy hitters to seal the moment: Michael Jordan, the icon whose brand forever reshaped basketball's business, and Lexie Hull, a rising WNBA star and outspoken champion for equity in the game. Together, they weren't just offering a contract, they were delivering a legacy. The reveal was pure theater. In Los Angeles, Clark arrived for what she thought was a routine Nike brand meeting. Instead, she walked in to find Michael Jordan himself, with Lexie Hull at his side, holding a sleek black box stamped with her initials, **. Inside the box was history in the making, her very first signature prototype. Cameras captured the instant Caitlin Clark realized what was unfolding. Her hands shot to her face, eyes wide, disbelief melting into tears. In that moment, the torch wasn't just passed, it was placed firmly in her hands. So what could bring one of the most confident athletes in the world to tears? A signature that would change everything. When Caitlin Clark pulled out her debut signature shoes, bold and stamped with her name, it became more than a personal achievement. It was a moment that rippled through the timeline of sports history. Not since 1984, when a young Michael Jordan signed his groundbreaking Nike deal, had the world seen a partnership so symbolic. But this time, it wasn't only about athletic performance. It was about power, influence, and the untapped potential of women's sports. The announcement landed just days after her WNBA draft night in Brooklyn, and it was bigger than anyone imagined. Nike's $52 million deal wasn't only it carried something far rarer: a full signature shoe line designed entirely around Caitlin Clark's identity and style, that put her in elite company, only the third WNBA player in history to earn the honor, and the very first to receive it so early in her pro career. At its heart, this was a daring gamble. Nike wasn't just signing an athlete, they were backing a movement, one that started with packed college arenas, viral highlights, and shattered scoring records, and had now evolved into a full-scale business empire. It was a modern take on the Michael Jordan playbook, but with its own twist. In 1984, Nike took a leap of faith on a rookie named Michael Jordan, offering more than just a paycheck. His contract included royalties, a share of every Air Jordan sold. That single detail rewrote the rules. It allowed Jordan to grow into a global brand, and today, the Air Jordan empire generates billions, with MJ still earning tens of millions each year. That first deal didn't just transform Nike, it reshaped the entire sports marketing industry. Caitlin Clark's deal is massive by any measure, but it's not a carbon copy of the Jordan blueprint. Sources close to the talks revealed that while she gets her own signature shoe, the contract doesn't include royalties, at least not yet. That means Nike keeps full control of the sales revenue, even as Clark's name, image, and influence power the brand. Not everyone was thrilled with that detail. Sonny Vaccaro, the former Nike executive who famously helped sign Michael Jordan in the 80s, praised Clark as one of the most important athletes of this generation, but didn't hide his disappointment. If anyone deserves ownership in their legacy, it's her, he told reporters in late April 2024. While the fine print sparked debate, the visuals left no doubt about the moment's significance. In late April, during a Nike event in Los Angeles, Clark stood center stage holding her new signature shoe, flanked by Michael Jordan himself and WNBA star Lexie Hull, both of whom had lobbied behind the scenes to elevate her platform. Cameras flashed, the crowd roared, and it became clear. This wasn't just a contract, it was a declaration. For decades, women's sports have existed in the shadow of the men's game, even when the skill, fan engagement, and merchandise sales told a different story. Endorsement deals were smaller, media coverage slower, and the pay gap impossible to ignore. Caitlin Clark's deal cracked that ceiling, and it wasn't just about the money, it was about the message. Nike didn't quietly sign her to a long list of athletes. They built an entire campaign around her. They gave her a signature shoe, still a rare honor in women's basketball, and unveiled it beside two powerhouses, Michael Jordan and WNBA star Lexie Hull. That moment, captured in late April at Nike's Beaverton headquarters, wasn't just symbolic, it was seismic. But it also brought an uncomfortable truth into focus. While Clark's endorsement income skyrocketed, her rookie WNBA salary remained just $76,000, and the price of some NBA courtside seats. That's what Caitlin Clark will make in her rookie WNBA season. The staggering gap reignited a national debate. How could one of the most marketable athletes in the world earn more from a single shoe deal than most WNBA players take home in an entire decade? Fans, players, and advocates lit up social media. Comparisons flew. Articles surfaced overnight, questioning everything from league salary structures to TV broadcast rights to outdated sponsorship models. Even former athletes joined in, calling Clark's deal a wake-up call, not just for brands, but for the entire sports ecosystem. Yet, through all the noise, one truth held steady. Caitlin Clark wasn't just endorsed, she was believed in. While Michael Jordan's path set the gold standard, Clark's journey might raise the bar in a different way. She had proven that a woman's name could sell shoes, drive markets, and shift expectations on a global stage. But with Jordan and Lexie Hull standing beside her, the message wasn't just being heard, it was being amplified. This was no longer just about a contract. It was about rewriting the playbook.